Hey there, Star Wars fans, Jonesy the Mandalorian here again with another entry in the Hyperspace Database. Today's entry, the CF-9 CROSSFIRE Fighter. The CF-9 CROSSFIRE Starfighter was developed by the Incom Corporation around 130 years after the Battle of Yavin, and was used by the Galactic Alliance and the Galactic Alliance Remnant. The CF-9 CROSSFIRE Fighter was a bulky fighter that was shorter than other Incom vessels like the X-Wing fighter and the Z-95 Headhunter that came before it, and was shaped differently in the placement of its S-foils, having them in front of the fuselage instead of to the sides like the X-Wing and the Headhunter. Like the X-Wing, the S-foils could collapse for interstellar flight, but only the vertical wing would rotate into a horizontal position to make the wings align horizontally. This wing was intentionally made thinner than the horizontal wing so as not to impede the view of the pilot as much as possible. The CROSSFIRE came out around the same time as the X-83 twin-tail fighter that was also used by the Galactic Alliance, but was shorter and bulkier than its X-Wing-like counterpart. The ship held 2 crew members, a pilot and a gunner for the rear-facing laser cannons, and was designed much like the T-47 airspeeder used on Hoth to fight the AT-ATs of the Empire. One interesting feature of the ship was the wing-mounted laser cannons, which could converge into an intersecting cross-like pattern, somewhat like the prototype B-Wing starfighter we see in the Rebels TV show, not into one single beam. The cockpit module could separate from the main section of the craft if the pilot was shot down, and though cramped, the pilot would not have to be ejected from the ship, like in the case of the X-Wing or the Z-95. The CROSSFIRE fighter was designed for speed and maneuverability, and excelled at hit-and-fade tactics. It was slightly less maneuverable than its main competitor, the Predator-class fighter, but it was better armed and armored, and was well respected for its toughness. The CROSSFIRE fighter was mainly seen in the Legacy comic book series, which was set 130 years after the Battle of Yavin, and was the main fighter of the Galactic Alliance until it was defeated and officially dissolved at the Battle of Kamas. After this crushing defeat, Admiral Gar Stasi, who was one of the few Galactic Alliance leaders to escape from the battle, reorganized the remaining forces of the GA into the Galactic Alliance Remnant, and scrounged together as many ships as could be gathered. The CROSSFIRE fighter was then used heavily to bleed the forces of the Sith-controlled Galactic Empire, mostly in hit-and-fade tactics, and the ship became a favorite of the legendary Rogue Squadron. The CROSSFIRE fighter was instrumental in the operations at the Battle of Mon Calamari, when GA forces destroyed the Sith-controlled shipyards and stole the Imperial Star Destroyer Imperius for their own fleet. The CROSSFIRE was then also used in cooperation with Emperor Rowan Fell's Imperial fleet to fight against the Sith, who had secretly taken over the Empire and set themselves up as the new Sith Empire, calling themselves the One Sith. This treachery caused a great division in the Empire, with those loyal to Rowan Fell on one side, and those that were loyal to the throne on the other, no matter who was sitting in it. The CROSSFIRE fighter would be used to great effect during the war against the Empire and the Sith, and was a great successor to the other legendary craft of the Incom Corporation, as evidenced by members of Rogue Squadron choosing it as their primary vessel in the fight against tyranny. Want to know more secret history and trivia about all things Star Wars? Be sure to check out my other videos as well, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and the bell to be notified every time I publish a new video. Be sure to select all notifications, and you can check me out on social media for more news and channel updates. If you like what I do, please consider heading over to my Patreon page to support me there. Super special shout out to my Gold Captain level supporter Nick Sutphin for your continued support. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit me up in the comments too with what you thought of this and just chat with me, because I really like talking to you guys too. Thank you so much for your support and for watching this episode, and we will see you in the next one.